Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. This past Sunday, Chris from Missouri did a very interesting video and brought up two topics that I want to talk about here. In fact, on Monday, four collectors did a live stream, and those same two topics came up for discussion as well. So I wanted to do a video to give my thoughts on it. And of course, John Mangini yesterday did a video with his own thoughts, and I tend to agree a little bit more with what John Mangini said about the topic. So I guess I'm a little late to the game. I always hate to jump on the bandwagon in terms of topics and stuff, but I had planned to do this video. I don't know if there are any others that have done videos on this topic, but there were two related topics that initially Chris from Missouri brought up. And the first one is, how long do each of us plan on collecting, being part of the hobby? And the second related part is, whenever we're done, whether we make a conscious effort to stop collecting or we pass away, what do we want to pass on to our family or whoever inherits our collection? Do we prior to that, do we want to try to consolidate our collection so there's less of less cards to deal with, to sell, or to do whatever? And so again, I wanted to talk about those two topics and give my thoughts on it. In fact, the thumbnail for this video, I uploaded a current image of myself to Chat GPT, and I said, make this image of a person look like they're 80 years old. So I think Chat GPT did a fairly good job in making me look like an 80. I hope I look that good when I'm 80 years old. But the first part of Chris's video related to, how long am I going to be collecting? Now, my thoughts on this are as of 2026. So this is my thoughts now. Could things change? Could I have a differing opinion 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now? Possibly. Who knows? But from where things stand right now, I don't plan on stopping collecting anytime soon. As long as I have the mental ability, the physical ability to buy cards, maybe goes to shows, and of course the financial ability to buy cards, I don't see myself stopping. I don't see myself getting to a point where, hey, I've collected really everything that I want to, and there's nothing else that's out there that I would really want to add to my collection. So I'll, I'm done. I'm done building my collection. I don't see that ever happening. I did a video not too long ago about am I missing the boat on pre-war cards? That is a whole other area of the hobby that up to this point, I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. And this is, to me, I treat this as a marathon and not a sprint. And there are so many golden age cards, 50s, 60s, even 70s cards that I still want to add to my collection that are financially available for me to collect before I even attempt to go to pre-war. So to me, I have many, many, many years left and so many cards that I would love to have in my collection that I don't see myself reaching a point where I say, yep, I'm done. And in terms of my enjoyment of the hobby, Lord knows over the last 3-4 years, all the drama, all the different things that have gone, the industry versus the hobby, and all the stuff that's going on out there, that really hasn't affected my joy of collecting. I found my little niche and lane, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, building the collection that I am building. And I don't see right now, as of 2026, I don't see all the other things that are going on in the hobby or industry as forcing me to say, you know what, I've had it. Even though there's some cards that I would love to add to my collection, I just can't take this, or this is pushing me over the edge. and I'm fed up with it. I'm done. I'm disillusioned. I don't enjoy the hobby anymore. I don't see me getting to that point. So there's all that stuff flying around. A lot of negative stuff out there in the hobby and the industry. But so far, that hasn't affected my joy of the hobby. And again, this extends beyond just the cards I collect. There's the interaction with the community. And just for that aspect, I don't see myself backing away from the community and saying, hey guys, I'm done. I'll see you. It was nice knowing you. I don't see that aspect stopping anytime soon either. So, Lord willing, I have 20, hopefully, maybe even 30 plus years left of collecting, and I'm going to enjoy the hobby and build my collection. So, now the second part of the discussion, which I tend to maybe have a different opinion on, or how I collect maybe is a better way of saying is different than some other collectors out there. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just giving you my opinion or how I approach the hobby. Just like the Baseball Hall of Fame, you have some people that are small hall people and some that are big hall people. Some say, oh, the Hall of Fame should just be limited to those truly great players. It should really, really be hard to get elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And then there's others that are like, let's open it up to even what some people call the Hall of Very Good. You know, hey, let's make a big Hall of Fame. So you even get differing opinions on the Hall of Fame, just like your collections. And especially on the live stream, on the For Collectors live stream, I think it was on Monday, there are some on there that said, hey, you know what, I don't want to burden my family with a huge collection. That what are they going to do with all these cards? And it'd be such a burden to try to get rid of them or sell them. What do they do? And so their goal is to eventually start to consolidate their collection, sell off a lot of stuff, and potentially use those funds to buy some really nice, rare, valuable cards that, one, maybe they wouldn't be able to afford normally, but two, so they would be passing on a collection that's not as large and cumbersome, and thinking of the next generation who would be getting the collection. Well, first of all, for me, my son is going to inherit everything you see behind me, my collection, my memorabilia, all my Wade Boggs stuff, vintage cards, you name it. Everything's going to him. And I don't mean to sound selfish, but I'm not collecting for him. I'm collecting for myself. I have a large collection. If you include, complete sets and all the stuff I have in 5,000 count boxes and all that stuff, I probably have around 250,000 cards in my collection. A lot of it's junk. A lot of it's, again, there's a lot in complete sets, but it's my collection. And at this point, again, as of 2026, I have no intention of selling any of that stuff, consolidating it, with the thought process of it's going to be easier for my son. I hate, again, I don't mean to be mean or anything to my son, of saying, hey son, sorry, this is going to be your problem to deal with when I'm gone. But this is my hobby. This is my collection. This is the joy that I get from collecting cards. And I like to have a large collection. One of my ultimate projects, it's probably not one I'll ultimately be able to complete, but one of my largest projects for my vintage collection is to have all the cards of all the Hall of Famers from 1948 Bowman to 1980 Topps. And who knows what goals I may set once I get into pre-war cards eventually. But we're talking thousands of cards. And in the meantime, I'm picking up other things, whatever, and just adding more cards to my collection. That's how I collect. My grandfather on my dad's side collected coins. and he passed away from cancer. So he didn't, die suddenly and, oh my gosh, left this big coin collection for the family to have to deal with. He was aware of his declining health and stuff like that, and he didn't sell coins and said, okay, hey, I don't want my family to deal with these rolls and these tubes of coins and dimes, nickels, quarters, all this stuff. He didn't say, well, let me sell this stuff and either use the money for something else or buy some really special or really rare coins and limit his collection. He kept collecting for as long as he was able to. And it was, now we're not talking about 250,000 coins like I have for cards, but there was a decent amount of coins. And we ultimately, as a family, my one uncle took the entire collection to some coin dealer. And yeah, we may not have gotten as much as we could if we had taken the time to sell things more individually. But we were just like, hey, this is going to be easier. Send it down to this one coin dealer, I think down in Philly, and gave us a number. And we said, yeah, sure, that's fine. So that's how we handled that. But he didn't have that mindset. And I don't know if I picked up that mentality. I definitely think I have the collector gene from my grandfather. I don't think there was really anyone else in my family that collected stuff, and he collected other things as well. He had he kept every single Life magazine. He had a subscription to the first one from 1936. I think it was the first issue of Life magazine, all the way up to like 1970 something, and he had them all in the attic in boxes when he passed away. I went through them one time and put them all in order and all that stuff. So he had various little collections and stuff that he would like to collect. So I always joke sometimes that I'm more of a hoarder than a collector, but once I own a card, it's in my collection. And again, at this point in time in my life, in my collecting journey, I don't really want to sell any cards. I don't want to consolidate down and say, hey, I only want 500 cards in my collection, 300 cards in my collection, whatever the number is. And I know there are some of you out there that have a goal, whether it be because you don't have a lot of space to have a lot of cards. Maybe you just don't like the clutter. Maybe you want to, there's some cards in your collection that, I don't really care for that much. Hey, I can sell those and buy maybe a big card that I never thought I would be able to own. And that's great. That's wonderful. That's how you collect. That's how you get the enjoyment from your collection. For me, I'm a big collection collector, and that's how I enjoy the hobby. So, one, how long am I going to be collecting? As of right now, for as long as possible. I just love this hobby, love all the people involved that I've got to know, become friends with, but picking up a new card for my collection gives me so much joy because it's a card of a project that I'm working on, or it's just a really cool card of a great player. And I enjoy adding cards to my collection. So I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. And as for my collection as a whole, my son knows how large my collection is. So this isn't going to be a surprise that I'm gone and he's going to suddenly realize, whoa, he has all this stuff. He knows. So he's quite aware of what the challenge would be. And whether he takes it to one single dealer and says, just give me your best offer for everything, I just want to be done with it, that's his choice. He can do whatever he wants with it. And yeah, it may be difficult for him to liquidate, sell my collection because it's so large. Sorry, son, if you're watching this, I'm collecting for myself. And so to sort of wrap things up here, my little bit of advice, if any of you care what I think about this, is collect for you. I don't think it's being mean to your family to say, this is how I want to collect. This is what brings me joy. It happens to be a large collection. Or for you, if you like a smaller collection, that's great. Collect how you want to collect cards and collect how you want to enjoy this great hobby. And I would worry less about what would happen when you're gone, because you're going to be gone. And that's just my 2 cents of it. Would love to know what you think in the comments. Let me know, are you one that foresee a period of time where you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm done. I've collected everything I want to collect? Or do you see stuff happening in the hobby or the industry to say, man, if this really continues, I may just call it quits. I may just get fed up with it. We'd love to know that. And we'd love to know whether you plan on just doing your thing, enjoying your hobby, or are you thinking about who eventually gets your collection and wants to pass on something that's less burdensome to them, so you'll make a conscious effort at some point in time to say, all right, I need to reduce things. I need to get rid of some of these cards because I don't want to have all these cards that they need to sell and get rid of. I want something smaller. We'd love to know your thoughts on really all those areas there. I'm sure there's going to be a differing of opinion, and that's great. Like I said, there's no right way or wrong way to do this. So again, I just wanted to give my thoughts here on this. I think an interesting topic. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.